Hey, and welcome back to the B2B Marketing Gap podcast with me, Jade Tambini, aka B2B Jade. I'm very excited about this episode. I want to talk to you about how to build your marketing objectives. And if you have marketing objectives, how to make sure they are fit for purpose. Because something I see a lot when I ask marketing managers, do you have a marketing strategy in place? And they're like, I do. I want to see it. I want to know, have you gone in the right direction with your objectives? Because if you get these wrong, you end up with the entire marketing plan going wrong. We're going to dive a little bit into some of the examples that I've shared with students inside B2B Breakthrough Academy. So if you're already a member of the Academy, they will look a little bit familiar. Maybe it'll be a nice refresh for you. If you're not inside the Academy with us yet, you'll get a nice little juicy sneak peek into some of the amazing materials that we use. I wanted to share these examples because I just think it is so common when we get to the objectives to rush through it and just put sort of like obvious things like get more leads. That's the most common one I see. Get more leads is not an objective, okay? So when we've learned smart objectives over the years, we've really been trained into this kind of like, make it simple, make it measurable, make it attainable, make it realistic, and have a time frame to it. And the reason that we get so wrapped up then is that we're focusing more on reaching the kind of what you're supposed to reach within that acronym. So you become obsessed with, is it smart? But I think a genuinely good marketer would never do work that wasn't inherently smart. The way that I approach marketing objectives is a little bit different because I really feel that the measurable, tangible things should come later on in that objective setting piece. It was so important for me to talk to you about this because with it being February, January's out the way, and I have heard a lot of people being like, yeah, I've got my plan ready for the rest of the year. And I just want to check in with you, or for you to check in with yourself. Have I got these objectives right? Am I going to be then going in the right direction? Because if you're feeling unsure about objectives, sometimes it's easy just to kind of skim over them and be like, okay, let's just get to strategies. And then what happens, in my experience of what I've seen, is then your strategies end up just like a list of things that the business has asked you to do that you then try and connect with the objectives that you threw together. And so I just want to get the point across to you. Try and think of it like this: writing a marketing strategy in a kind of tick box exercise sort of way is really not what a realistic, exciting, inspiring, achievable marketing strategy actually is that your leaders can really buy into. If you are finding yourself in that position where your marketing strategy feels more like a campaign plan of things that have been given to you that you have to find a way to deliver in the set quarter or the set year, this episode is going to be really helpful for you because I truly believe that every marketer should know how to build not only a professional marketing strategy, but one that is truly realistic. Far too many of us build a marketing plan, show it to the leaders. They sort of like love it. They're like, oh, this is great. We've never had anything like this before. I love all your ideas. And then it gets filed away. You get like thrown loads of new things and you're like, that's not in the plan. Or another one I see loads is when you are going into the meeting to present what your marketing plan is going to be or your strategy to leaders. And you're going in with the mindset of, I want to impress them in this meeting. So then what happens is your marketing review is filled with things that look good, but don't necessarily reflect the reality of what's going on. Your objectives are what they expect of you as opposed to what's realistic. So maybe you say, well, what do we need to achieve? And a really common one I hear a lot is, we want to double in size and profitability within the next 3 years. And so then you're told, well, make a marketing strategy around that. And so then your objective becomes like, double the leads in 12 months. And hang on, have you got double the budget, or is this just like, do this? And so back to my earlier point about tick box exercise is that this is where a well-intentioned marketing plan can go really wrong because you've learned all the theory of what needs to get done. But then when you've come to put it together, you've made shortcuts. You've done a review that is not reflective of reality. It's showing numbers that look good but aren't leading to anything. because you're jumping around all the time and because the business is not listening to you about we need to be focused, we need to be simple in what we execute, we need to do fewer things and do them really well. And then your objectives are just dictated based on what they're telling you has to be achieved, as opposed to you consulting and guiding them on what is realistic to set as objectives. You may well be also using I don't want to say incorrect, but a less than helpful marketing objective model like SMART. Now, SMART's an incredible model. I mean, I respect any marketer who's come up with a model. It's unbelievable. I think the way we're applying it has taken people down the wrong route, coupled with the company's like dire need for results immediately. I think SMART can get us into a pickle. So that's why I talk about it in a way that I don't see as helpful, as opposed to me taking a jab at the model, because it's clearly an incredibly successful model. You'll also see me checking I haven't muted the mic, because I've done that before where I'll be like recording and then this happens. So yeah, like this microphone, you can tap it and then, did you hear me go silent? Then I once did like a 40-minute video completely on mute. So I will just keep being like this. If you want to watch this, by the way, it's just me messing around with the boom arm. You can go to B2BJ TV if you prefer, but I know podcast listening is quite nice in the car or wherever you're going. So then when you get towards your objectives, when you get into your strategies, if your review wasn't open and reflective of where you are now and your objectives are not completely aligned with exactly what marketing needs to help the business with, your strategies and tactics will not be aligned with what has to happen for the company. And that is my biggest concern for B2B marketers right now, because I've been like banging the drum of simple strategy that works, that is effective, that gets leaders on board ever since I launched my strategy program, B2B Breakthrough Academy, with the mentorship. Ever since I launched it 2 years ago, and I've had people come in and just transform the way that leaders see marketing and the way they approach marketing. I've been going on and on and on about the need for a marketing strategy, the fact that you have to have one. And what can sometimes be so frustrating is when people are like, oh, we have got one. And I'm like, do you use it? Is it leading the marketing? Are you leading the marketing in your company, or are you being dragged around? Because if the latter is the truth for you, you actually may as well not have a marketing strategy. And so you'll have heard me talk a lot about simple strategy. And then I want you to bear in mind that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. That's like the most beautiful, famous quote that I live my entire life by. Like everything I do is about working towards simplicity so that you can, experience life, breathe it in and be present, as opposed to complexity where you're rushing around. And so in my last episode, if you haven't watched it yet, you could watch that. I talk about minimalist marketing. It's a similar thing. It's not about not really doing any marketing, not being a modern marketer, not embracing AI, whether it's generative AI or productivity AI or anything else that's going to bring for us. By simplifying and stripping back and getting your marketing strategy just absolutely spot on in terms of process, you free up space to be able to utilize these amazing new things. I say new, I mean, a lot of it's been around a long time, but I don't know that we're necessarily using things to their best ability. A great example of where we get pulled pillar to post is, at the moment, one of my big focus areas for my business is looking at how AI can help with productivity. So I'm moving away from it in terms of content creation, because I was finding that the very essence of what makes my content relatable and interesting was being stripped out. I was using it to help me brainstorm. But for me, brainstorming alone is what gives you gold, is what, like, I don't know, it was just stripping something out for me. And the more AI generated content I see, I mean, I even went on a live training the other day with a very well-known expert in the field of, what I do. And I was just sat there and I was so gutted, because I could see that the slides had been generated using AI. It was like, your problem isn't this, it's this. And here's the truth. And then the person presenting, who I've followed and admired for so many years, was literally, I could tell she was reading an AI script, and she did a really good job. Like, she was looking straight at the camera. There must have been a teleprompter. And I was like, you're gone. I've lost you. You're gone. It was such a shame. And AI for sure with my content can help me with productivity. Like, I want to look into how I can use it to optimize, improve, enhance, distribute in different places. But in terms of like brainstorming for this video, I just want to turn up and chat to you. I think it's more relatable to have a conversation. Sorry as well, I keep bashing the table. I hate being like, that's me just putting my hands down on the desk. I've got this new tripod. Again, to the simplicity thing, I'm trying to make my setup for these videos quicker, because it's a barrier for me if it takes ages to pick up all these things. I've got this really tall, massive tripod that takes a while to set up. I've just got a little desktop tripod from my Sony camera. And I'm like, great, that's going to be so much quicker. Just chuck it on there now. Look at that. If I put my hands on the desk. You should really watch the YouTube version just to laugh at me. I'm also really conscious of this boom arm being massively in the shot, whatever. And so my point that I was getting to about the AI thing was, this is not about being old school in our marketing. I even did a TikTok video the other day talking about, in 2006, so literally 20 years ago, these are the marketing techniques I used and how we used them, and the fact that we had less choice made us use them to better effect. And then someone commented, really great guy, was like, I'm an AI specialist. I really don't think we should ignore these new tools and technologies though. And I'm like, 100%. But if you are so busy running around doing everything to not very good effect, you're not going to be able to make best use of these tools and techniques. You need to educate yourself massively before bringing in a new productivity tool or a new approach. Let's get obsessed with it. I remember in 2010 or maybe 2009, because the same video was quite funny. This other guy was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe in 2006 you weren't using SEO and events. I was like, okay, but you're just proving my point. You can only mention 3 other things that I wasn't doing. And to be honest with you, most people were not doing SEO in 2006, okay? Most people. There's a lot of people who aren't even doing it now. So to say that like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you were only doing 3 things in 2006. I was doing 6. I'm like, well, great. Like, first off, great. I think that's awesome that like an early adopter of something that was not a mainstream practice. The big brands for sure were doing SEO probably like late 90s. I don't know massively about this, but the fact that a mainstream marketer in a B2B company would be doing SEO 20 years ago, I'm like, that's awesome. Good for you. But the point remained that with fewer things available to me, you had to give them more attention and you had to get obsessed with them. So in 2010 or 2009, when I did start SEO, I was like, okay, so the website's beautiful. The positioning is great. The messaging is great. I've launched this new website. I've agonized over every detail, done customer insight work to figure out their pain points, really hired web copy designers, everyone, got it all sorted. Oh, there's someone's just mentioned about search engine optimization. Yes, I want to get more inquiries through the website. Let me look into that. I'd have calls with specialists learning about it. I don't even know how I'd learn. I honestly think I just spoke to experts on the phone for ages. When people are trying to sell to you, I'd be like, let's do this. Like, how do these work? How does that work? And I would learn so much reading about it. And so I think what's happened today is, with so much going on, that we're just like, okay, quick, yeah, do that. Just hire an agency. We're not obsessed with a new thing anymore because there's too many of them. So by me suggesting simple, old school 2006 approach to marketing, what I am not saying is, there's that paranoia again, just checking the mic's not muted. I'm not saying do old stuff, don't do new stuff. It's about clearing things down. Do you see how everything's interconnected? A simple strategy. Minimalist marketing is truly about getting the right budget for what you need to do and then doing fewer things with it. Maybe as a minimalist marketing strategy, you actually do need 2 more members in your team. Maybe you're at 5 now, maybe you need to go to 7 members, and maybe the budget needs to double. That's minimalism is about removing what is not necessary and having what is necessary. If you're a team of 5 that should be a team of 7, minimalist would mean recruiting more people, but the approach would be, so we now have the resources that we need, and we're going to spread it across fewer things so that we get maximum results. I was just watching, I'm obsessed with minimalism. It's so interesting. I love it. Oh my gosh, I could do a separate podcast on it. But these guys were saying that like a lot of people who end up going into minimalism, they will declutter huge amounts of things, but they actually also declutter things they use and need, which then needs to like purging and buying stuff to replace, and then they declutter and then they buy again. That's clearly not a helpful cycle. If you think about it like that, if you're in a kitchen and you need, like, I don't have tons in my kitchen. I have like a couple of frying pans, a stove. I have one frying pan, one pancake. How did we get here, by the way? How did we arrive at this? I have a stir fry pan, a pancake pan, a frying pan, 3 pans of different sizes for like for your carrots and peas, and like a spatula, a wooden spoon. I have 2 wooden spoons because that's necessary. But again, if I got rid of the spatula and was trying to operate a kitchen without a spatula, that's not minimalism, that's doing without. Try and think of your current setup in relation to when I talk about decluttering your marketing and minimalist marketing. We do need to start at a place where we have what is needed to function. Have you ever tried to flip a pancake without a spatula? You can't do it. I love being able to talk about this stuff. For 20 minutes, I've been able to just talk about this stuff. This is so fun. And I don't know, when you're having conversations with people, you feel like, oh, I should probably stop talking now. That's what I love about having a podcast. I can just keep going. So, do you have a spatula for your pancakes in your marketing setup? And then when you have the resources you need, i.e. the number of people, the right budget, that's when you then apply the principle of decluttering everything else. Okay, what are we working on right now that is not working for us? Now, analytics marketers, and guys, we will get to the objectives examples in a minute, but I had to talk about this stuff as well. So someone else commented on a video that I did the other day. They commented on my video saying, but analytics are really important here because you'll know what to strip out. I'm like, yes. Yes, and yes, but okay, analytics-led marketers sometimes freak me out a bit because on the topic of brand salience, so brand salience is my favorite concept in B2B marketing. And I will link a document for you that's taken out of B2B Breakthrough Academy, my strategy course. The students love this one. It's just an article talking about why brand salience is the most important metric in B2B marketing. So brand salience is this idea that when a need comes to you, and this could be at any time, like a need just comes to you out of somewhere, or when the time arises for you to need something. Like, I don't know, I have a washing machine at the moment and the door broke because I had a rage attack a couple of years ago when my kids weren't sleeping, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I literally smashed I don't usually have rage, but when I haven't slept and I'm like, I freaked out and the door latch came off. My husband's really resourceful. He found a way to fix the door. But every time I use it, I'm like, this is on its way out. Okay. This is on its way out. There's going to come a time where we do need a new washing machine because there's a few things going on with it. Now, brand salience is I then in a year, say it's a year from now, go, we got to get a washing machine now. Brand salience would be the brand that comes to mind. Like, that's the one I need. As B2B marketers, that is one of the most powerful things that we can focus on in our marketing. How do we build brand salience so that when the people in our market want to buy, it's us they're thinking of? The problem with analytics-focused marketers, people who are too obsessed with analytics, people who make huge decisions based on their analytics, is you can end up cutting things that lead to very strong brand salience. So maybe every week for a year, you opened my email where I was sending you a podcast episode. I know a lot of people inside my academy who are now deep into the modules, building their marketing strategy, getting advice from me on the mentorship, asking, are these objectives right? Am I picking the right strategies? Those guys are like, I literally followed you for 2 years. And then when I was ready, in a heartbeat, I joined your program. An analytics marketer might say, okay, the direct route for like your website visitors, they go to this section of your site and they download the leaders guide, and then that's when they buy. So just push your leaders guide. Now, I know that super clever analytics marketers would look much deeper than that, but they may also say, well, your podcast doesn't really convert very well. You should just focus on TikTok. Don't bother with the long form of the podcast. But this is where we build trust. This is where you get to know me. This is where I push away people who are not right. I'm going to give you a great example of why brand positioning is so important and why having a very clear place in the market is. I did a webinar recently and 500 of you signed up. Let me know in comments if you joined and if you liked it. It was called the Big Marketing Reset. I have linked that in the show notes, and also it's in all of my links on all of my social platforms. You can get hold of the replay of the Big Marketing Reset webinar. It was so awesome. Anyway, my point is, at the end, there were like, of the people who attended, there were like 50 pieces of feedback left because my platform asks people for feedback on it. And overwhelmingly, it was like, this was game changing. One person said, I might actually read them to you. Yeah, let's read them. Best hour I've ever spent, she said. Great webinar, felt very seen and understood as an overwhelmed marketer. Jade comes across as kind and lovely mentor, had some great advice. This made me feel like I maybe do belong in this job. Over the last 5 years, I've been promoted twice. I'm now marketing director. The position has come with a lot of leadership interference, limited resources, unicorn expectations, and blame. The imposter syndrome and shame are so real. Today made me feel so much less crazy and less alone. Thank you so much. Looking forward to she's joining a Q&A I was doing. Someone said it was the best hour they've spent, the most transformative hour they'd spent. Well done, how fast this hour passed. This was amazing. This was so good. Not just like, thanks, it was good. And then like one of the 50 people has said, had such high hopes for this webinar, but I didn't get anything out of it. And he scored 1 out of 5. This is good, right? This is saying that I'm turning away the wrong people. And that's what I'm talking about with brand salience. What you want to be doing, like, it's much as a marketing win for the wrong people to go. In this workshop I'd done, the masterclass you can watch on replay, it was really important to me that I was authentic in how I teach and what I do. If I'd have gone with, oh, what are they going to want from me, and mold to that when it's not reflective of what I sell inside B2B Breakthrough Academy, which is let's declutter, let's hone in, let's develop ourselves. Let's get leaders to respect us by stepping up to them. This person probably wanted like a quick fix on like, how do we get leads? Like, show me, train me on this specific element because this is what I'm doing right now. So it's great news when someone is like, this is not for me. And I just wanted to share that with you because sometimes analytics marketers, they are a little bit too focused on, let's look at the direct route between, and they might even take that feedback and go, let's tweak slightly for our next one. That person didn't feel like they got very much. Let's message them, find out what they did want and adapt it to them. But then you're not being authentic to your brand's position. It's very important that in your strategy, you've got this brand positioning as well, and that things like brand salience are covered. I knew this episode was going to go into loads of different places. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to... Ooh, can I share screen here? Oh, this is all new. Ooh, yikes. Oh, annoying. I thought I'd be able to share screen with you. The first example I'm going to give you of a marketing objective, it comes from the slides inside... Let's do this. It comes from the slides. I'll put that there actually. It comes from the slides inside B2B Breakthrough Academy. What I always ask people to do inside the marketing review is to figure out what the company focus area is. That's what happens in module 1. So if you're already a student in B2B Breakthrough Academy and you're looking at your objectives at the moment, go to module 1 first. Don't start here. Do not do this, because in module 1, it's not just about looking at like what you've done before now. It's also about figuring out what does the business need from you. So that's what we're going to go with. Okay, these examples are coming from a place of when it's not a super simple, straightforward situation. The company's just saying, just get us more opportunities. And you're like, in what way? I'm going to give example first of a company that does machinery sales. Could not get more B2B than that. So the company focus area could be that we want to diversify our client portfolio and strengthen our market position. That just means like we're really well known in this small sector that we're in at the moment, and there doesn't seem to be, it's drying up. There's not many more people that we could get in front of. So we'd like to go into some new industries that we might be able to work with and strengthen our market presence in maybe those new regions even. So that would be the company focus area: diversify client portfolio and strengthen market position. As an example to how this would flow, like if you were doing this inside my program, for example, your company focus area would have been directly taken out from the work that you did in module 1, making your marketing review. Because just to quickly touch on it, because I think that's why this process is so amazing, right? I've done my Chartered Institute of Marketing. Loads of the students have done their degrees. What we learn in those, which is so important, is we learn the theory, we learn the concept, and then we're left thinking, how the heck do I use any of this? And if you try and do those things with your leaders, they're like, why are we doing this? Can't you just get us sales leads? I built this business, B2B Breakthrough Academy. I built it to fill that gap, the bridge between I know all the theory. What do I do now? How do I make this real? How do I turn this into a plan I can flip and use? I built what I would have wanted, and it was just a passion project. Like I had to do it. I was so irritated by how stuck everyone was getting. So anyway, what you can see on the screen, like if you're watching on the podcast on the YouTube, is the company focus area that would have been taken from step 1 in the marketing review, because the marketing review is all about defining what does the company really need from us. I've gone really wrong here in the past, because I remember when I started doing all that SEO for that company I told you about, I think I doubled the number of sales leads that were coming in through the website in 60 days or something like that. And I was really proud of myself. But the company was like, these are useless. Like, these are rubbish. These are corner shops asking for quotes for their waste management. We don't actually need these. And I was like, what? The wind was knocked out of my sails. What I didn't really understand at that time, because I was so new to marketing, was what they needed was to secure 6-figure, big, huge waste management contracts with the likes of Tesco, Marks and Spencer, Waitrose, I don't know, Walmart if you're over in the US, or Carrefour if you're in France, or wherever else you are in the world. I don't know the international supermarket names, but I do know you have better ones than us a lot of the time. So we're finding out what is actually going on, so that when they say we just want more customers, we've got questions within module 1 that help you uncover, okay, so I will personally mentor people, like in a group setting, like one-to-one in their segment of that session. Ask these questions of your leaders. If they're just telling you they want growth and nothing else, ask this, ask that, and then you can arrive at what is your true company focus area. So diversify our client portfolio and strengthen our market position is an example taken from a module 1 of a made-up company. From there, the marketing objective within this framework that I use, now stay with me, because at first you're going to be like, that's fluffy. But don't worry, it's going to get okay. It's going to get better. And I don't own this, by the way. This is just how I do it. There are different ways to do marketing objectives. I feel the way I train it is what's different and helps it make sense to you. But this is not me claiming that I made a model. It's just a typical kind of marketing objective process. So the marketing objective in this scenario would be identify and target new industries and regions to broaden our customer base and enhance market presence. Why is that a good marketing objective, as opposed to win 10 new accounts in this sector? Because it's talking to us about the overall focus of the marketing. Identify and target new industries suggests that we need to find out what would be the best ones through marketing kind of insights and knowledge and techniques. We're not just going to throw in there, this is what we're going to do. The objective is to get under the skin of this challenge. Now, sometimes in companies I've worked in, The answer was, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, you're wrong. There's loads of untapped market potential. There's loads of low-hanging fruit in the industries and geographies you're already in. I've gone away and identified audiences and industries. Don't do that. That's wrong. The company focus here is wrong. So you can see how having the right marketing objectives doesn't lock you in. God, this stuff makes me happy. Doesn't lock you in to, going down the wrong path. Because if you didn't identify and understand and figure it out, you would end up doing the wrong strategy. As marketers, it's always about challenging and thinking, I'm interested why you think we need to do that. Tell me more about this problem. Tell me about what you're trying to solve. What's the real issue here? So then, off the back of the objective, you do need key results. For me, the key results would be the measurable, but they're the business scorecard measurables. And what do I mean by business scorecard? Because as you know, I never ever use jargon. Business scorecard metrics are things you could say to a company owner, and I'm a company owner, albeit very small, that would actually matter to them. So if you said to me, Jade, 30 new people have joined B2B Breakthrough Academy today, I'm like, amazing. Or 58% of your existing members within B2B Breakthrough Academy have just achieved their certificate. They've completed BBA, they've got their certificate, they've received real transformation, or you've just had 10 new reviews off the back of our marketing activity. Those are things that make me go, ooh, that's good. So the key results are the things that you want to put in there that when you report them to your bosses, I hate the word boss, your leaders, they're going to be like, this means something to me. And it's going to be directly related with the company focus area. Key results in this example would be achieve 15% of total annual sales from the identified new industry sectors by the end of the financial year. Because what we're trying to do here is make sure that a certain percentage of our sales is coming from somewhere different than maybe in this example, there's an industry that's looking shaky and could be the potential that they're not going to use us anymore. We need to see that a percentage of our revenue is coming from elsewhere to, be safe by the end of financial year. So that's like, it is kind of, this is where we do get smart. And then B, establish relationships with at least 5 new clients in previously untapped markets by the end of Q4. Now, this is assuming that they deal with huge accounts. So that gives us something to something meaty to when we get to strategies and tactics. How are we getting those 5 new clients? But here's what's really, really transformative about it. If you just go straight to that, imagine the objective was establish relationships with at least 5 new clients in previously untapped markets. You just dart into trying to get meetings, booking things, but actually by having an objective that's about identifying, targeting and understanding a new audience, you're going to be a lot more insight-led and more strategic, not just diving into tactics that may not actually achieve your goal. And then success indicators here. So success indicators in the way that I teach it inside the program is, and this has really helped marketers because it helped them to know what to keep to themselves or pull out of the bag if leaders are excited and want to know more about the impact of the marketing. So for example, they might go, oh, that's great. You have generated this amount of pipeline for us. How did that come about? Then you can go, okay, well, from these few number of activities we were doing, we saw an 83% increase in X engagement with this type of content because we started talking about this type of content. People resonated with us much better. And actually what we did is we added a form at the end, we data captured that, got people who were in the market into our funnel and made sure that people who weren't in the market didn't join because the messaging was really spot on. So in the past, I remember we were giving you loads of leads that you said were useless. What we changed is we made the messaging repel the wrong people and attract the right people. So that's why the quality of the inquiries has increased. Hence the pipeline is better. God, I need to take a breath sometimes. The success indicators are things for you that you measure in your marketing tactics that are relevant. So you're not measuring everything. A would be increased inquiries and leads from these new sectors. B would be successful marketing campaigns targeting the new industries or markets. And C would be positive customer feedback from new clients. So they would be your headers. And then underneath, you would be defining what, and that's the next step within what the students in BBA are doing. But you would then identify, okay, which actual metrics. So for me, things like the number of times that this podcast has been listened to, then corresponding with the number of people who did take a next step by taking one of my freebies, and then how many people joined a masterclass, and then how many people ended up joining the B2B Breakthrough Academy. That would be the type of success indicators I would use that lead into key results of how many people joined. I'm not measuring everything. I don't care, to be honest, about metrics. At what point did they drop off and leave the podcast episode? I would just look at, roughly speaking, okay, my best performing podcast episodes seem to be about 19 minutes, but okay, the 40-minute ones where I'm really training something, like today, for example, hopefully you're getting a lot of value from it. It's longer. I'm not too analytics heavy that I measure the wrong things. I just roughly look at what are the best performing ones, what was going on there. I don't go too deep into analytics on my website. I just measure what's needed and what's necessary and what I use. It's that kind of minimalist approach to your marketing. So that's an example. And then I'm going to give you another example. Okay, so a professional services company, you could have a company focus area is they want to expand their market reach and enhance their service offering. They want to expand market reach. They want to get in front of more people and enhance their service offering so they can appeal to a new type of customer that they haven't necessarily been able to attract in the past. So in this example, I think what I was looking at was they want to work with more high caliber projects and clients, but at the moment they may be seen more as bread and butter. The marketing objective would be strengthen the company's reputation in the accountancy services in what they do, but in a sense of really bolstering their position, why they're really great to work with, and expand its market reach to attract more diverse and high value clients. So we know there that there's going to be a lot of a lot of insights work and a lot of positioning and a lot of work around reputation. Now, again, when I tell you about the key results, notice how we'd have skipped over those important things I just mentioned if we went straight to this. Secure contracts with 5 new higher value clients from different sectors by the end of financial year, and B, increase the average value of a client contract by 20% within the next 6 months. That's a bit of a mouthful, but all it's saying is when we look at the data of the clients we're winning, if we can see if we can increase the average value of a contract. If someone's usually signing like a £1,800 a month retainer, maybe that's gone up to 2,500 is the average retainer signed, something like that, to show a sign of this is working, what we're doing. And then the success indicators would be growth in inquiries, obviously, positive feedback from new clients on the service quality and value. So that's like making sure that we are like future-proofing this. Are the high caliber people we're bringing in, strengthen the company's reputation is the marketing objective. So a success indicator to prove that, because if you just win new clients, then do a terrible job, you think you've achieved your marketing objective, but you haven't. So one of the success indicators would be positive feedback from these new clients on the service quality and value. And then also increased engagement with content tailored to the high value service offerings. Those are just examples. I hope that was a useful little breakout. I want to start sharing more stuff with you from inside B2B Breakthrough Academy so that you can get a taste of what we're doing and what my mission is, because sometimes I think I just babble on about mindset stuff, which is huge and fully baked into everything I do, because this is really about empowering you with like everything is interconnected, absolutely everything. Like you need to learn this stuff, everything that's inside here that I'm gonna like hop in and out of, showing you slides here and there, the brand salience article that I've linked in comments. All of this stuff is so interconnected, but ultimately, in a nutshell, let me just tell you to finish this episode why you're stuck. Okay, it's all connected. Oh, this table is all connected. First of all, if you're struggling, maybe you don't have the resources that you need. If you do have the resources that you need, it might be that you're doing too many things with them. It feels like you don't have the resources that you need. What I often say to people is, look at what you have to work with, try and get it to where it should be. Now, the next part of that module that I was just talking to you about with objective setting is around setting your budget. And there's a whole calculation that maybe we could talk about another day. about what your budget should be. If you have got the right budget and you're not allocating it wisely because you're doing too many things, that can be a reason that your marketing is not working. On the other side, if you don't currently have the resources you need, which is quite common in B2B, if you're in a company where they really respect marketing, they do want to see growth from you, they expect a little bit too much, they're maybe not very educated in marketing, this is where I can help you so much. Like the transformations that I have seen in the students inside this academy is unbelievable. The imposter syndrome side, you've not got the resources or you're spreading them too thin. Then you internalize and go, oh, it's me. Everyone else can do this. Why am I struggling? Not true. Yes, imposter syndrome can be something to look at. In fact, a lot of the time, imposter syndrome is something that we need to listen to, because it's like there is a reason that you're feeling scared about, I don't know, managing like the integration of a CRM system with your data system. Yeah, you're going to feel imposter syndrome. You've never done it before. Why would you feel confident about that? You should feel imposter syndrome about things you're not meant to be doing. That's what I want to get across. Like, it's all interconnected. And then you feel burnt out because you're doing too much. And then you don't have the budget to outsource anything. So you end up doing too much again. And then you're basically a glorified sales admin person when the business just needs loads of things. What we have to do to overcome all this stuff, and also with the issue of having the wrong marketing objectives, having a vanity marketing review that leads to the wrong strategies and tactics, you're doing the wrong things anyway. This is why it's like way less simple than just, do you have a marketing strategy? It's, do you have a realistic fit for purpose marketing strategy that can actually like engage with leaders, get them to change what they're doing, get you excited about delivering on it and being realistic. I've had people in the program, the first step they went through, they were like, oh, Jade, I just need to get this year out of the way and then I'm really excited to build my strategy. I'm like, no, build a strategy for where you are now to get yourself out of the mess. Maybe your strategy for year one is about untanglement, detangling. Be upfront with your business. Guys, you've been doing it the wrong way for a really long time. Let me fix it. Let's not keep doing the same things. Have you got results before by doing things the way you're doing them now? No, let's change something. DSD. Do something different. Amy Porterfield taught me that when I first started building this course. I was coaching you guys one-to-one. I was really enjoying dealing with you, but I was getting a bit burnt out because there were so many people coming through TikTok and the podcast wanting one-to-one coaching. And I was like, you guys, you're all going through the same thing. Please, let's bring you together. And Amy Porterfield's like, DSD, Jade. Not personally. I was on her course. She's like, do something different. Do something different. Shake it up. Like, what is bothering you? Oh, the fact that I'm doing 12 like 15 one-to-ones with different marketers every week, coaching them, sending them resources after, looking after them, trying to remember what they're doing, them feeling completely alone in the issues they're facing. I want to bring them together, just do something different, do it. So I built this program off the back of that and nearly killed me. It was really fun. And that was what it was all about. Do something different. If you're not happy, if it's not working for you right now, do something different. And the best part is that doing something different is not going to add to your plate. It's going to take away from it. It's going to make you finally realistic about what you can achieve. And it's so fun and refreshing when people make their B2B breakthrough. Like, I was chatting to Lise the other day. I always talk about Lise. She posted in the community. She actually graduated from B2B Breakthrough Academy like a year ago. And she still pops in to be like, you're not going to believe it. I'm so confident. I'm so happy. Done an interview. Like, I know how to talk about strategic marketing. I don't take things personally. I don't have imposter syndrome. This is as much about you feeling better in your life as it is about your company. So to end, I do have a few resources for you. If you've not used them yet, make sure you get your hands on them. So in my links everywhere at b2bjade.com, you can head to the resources page, so b2bjade.com/resources. Is that what Lizzie, my lovely web developer, set up? b2bjade/resource. Yes, b2bjade/resources. On there, you are going to find some nice things. I've got a strategy scorecard. You can answer 17 questions and basically find out how strategic you are as a percentage. I'm going to send you some advice and helpful guidance with that as well, including a mini crash course that's completely free. On the resources page, there is also my leadership pitch guide. If you've been following along for a while and you're like, I want to join B2B Breakthrough Academy. I know so many of you reach out to me and you're like, I want in, but maybe you're unsure how to pitch this to your bosses. I even had someone yesterday saying, does this count as CPD? There's so many things covered inside the leadership pitch guide. So you can download that on b2bj.com/resources. You can give it to your leader and they'll have a look at it with you. Now, sometimes what I also do, if it's useful, is I can activate a free 7-day trial where you can browse around module 1 with your leaders. Feel free to reach out to me directly at jade@b2bj.com or fill out the form on my website and I'd be happy to chat to you about whether it's a right fit for you to trial module 1, because for some people, it's not the right time. Maybe you're a marketing assistant, you're just getting started. I'll be like, don't do this. Head down, keep going. Come back to me when you're at marketing manager level or head of marketing, or even already in the marketing director role, but feeling a little bit out of your depth. Where we want you in this program is where you know the basics, you understand marketing, you're responsible for developing and delivering on a strategy, or you want to make that next leap into that role. You want to show your business, I can step up. This is when it's going to be right for you. So feel free to get in contact with me if you would like to take a little look around, try out some of the video trainings, download a few of the templates. We've got a live call coming up soon. The way that it works is you get instant on-demand access when you join B2B Breakthrough Academy. Just head to b2bjade.com/breakthrough-academy, or just go to B2B Jade and click Breakthrough Academy, and you will see the date of our next intake call. They're very regular. I would love to see you in there, but even so, I'm babbling now. Make sure you just stay connected with me and make sure you like this video. And they always say you should only have one call to action on a YouTube video or podcast episode, but I'm just excited. I'm just talking to you. This is fine. Keep in touch. Let me know how you're getting on. Let me know in comments, like, what's the state of your marketing objectives? Do you have them? Do you work with them? Are they realistic? Are they clear? And as always, I can't wait to see you next time I'm here. Bye. See you later.